Hello everybody. Today we're going to take a quick tour of the shop. Primary purpose is to document the insides of the wall before we close it up with drywall and hide a lot of things underneath it. But also wanted to just review some of the features that are put into the building. So without further ado, let's go to the shop. So what we have here is a standard framed wall, 2x6 construction. You can see the X bracing, which is to help stiffen and strengthen the wall to keep it from racking. Part of it is integrated an I-beam into the building as a header, but also for the purposes of using a hoist down the road. But part of that is to not only transfer the vertical loads, but to make sure the beam doesn't fall over. So the X bracing in both directions helps that out. The column is wood, and the bracketry is something I designed. Well, there's actually large bolts that hold everything together, and you can see down at the bottom the bracket for the wooden column is also bolted into the concrete foundation with epoxied anchors, so the weldment just made here in the shop. Right here we have a gray box. Eventually it's going to be a low voltage control for the staircase that's in the shop. So up-down style controls. Just a quick view of that. The staircase is one that we built here in the shop, and it uses an attachment to a steel cable, and ultimately in a pocket in the ceiling above the ductwork is a Harbor Freight hoist that actually raises and lowers. So ultimate goal here is to automate that. We have some 120 volt power on the wall right here, and right here is a three-phase distribution system that's throughout the shop for the purpose of running shop machinery. A large bundle of wires here. This is all low voltage stuff. It comes down through from various places in the shop, and this is designed for PLC, which is going to control things like alarm system, manage the air compressor, and manage the staircase and the two-zone HVAC, amongst other things. You know, there's opportunities for expansion. So right here in this cavity, we've got a space for a 240 volt single phase sub panel. And the bottom line is I've got two number 10 wires that go out here through the wall, and already mounted on the other side are the disconnects for our AC system. The goal is to eventually use a couple of mini splits for both sides of the shop to give us some more comfort in the summertime. You can also see here in the shop in two locations in the wall, we've got a distribution for ductwork for heating only. This is ultimately going to pour out heat and keep our shop warm. And everything's going in the ceiling. The ductwork in the ceiling is insulated. The ductwork in the wall, of course, is finished in insulation. But we just wanted to basically document what we've got here, take a look at everything. One other thing we should note here is at the top I put a row of outlets that are roughly 12 inches down from the ceiling. One of the thoughts in here is to eventually, when we finish the walls, is to create a system of shelving up there for storage, because there's a lot of wall area that's up there, a lot of storage opportunity, but who knows what will go up there. It could be battery chargers, could be neon signs, could be clocks, and I just didn't want to come up and have cords dragging down the wall. So why not put them in when the wall is open, when everything's good? So shortly we're going to complete the insulation. We're using Roxol comfort bat. Right here you can see we've mocked up the way the drywall is going to work. Keep the drywall off the concrete foundation. This is a 5/8 square piece of AZEK PVC trim, so that's actually going to rest on the concrete. And then the drywall sheet just basically butts down against this. So the idea is you don't want any wicking from the concrete to take place into the lower edge of the drywall. So this is my design here to keep this buffer here to close the wall, but also prevent the wicking. We'll find out how that's going to work. So we're just trying to mock up the system we're going to use to put up the sheets. They're 12-foot sheets, 5/8 thick drywall, type C for the fire resistance, very heavy, 110 pounds per sheet. So my dad and I were discussing and trying to mock up a system. So he said, well, the first sheet is pretty easy. We can load that one by hand and manage it and get it screwed up. The plan after that is to use a 2x4 as a cleat, which we're going to screw right here an edge in a couple of spots to give us a wider shelf to land the edge of the next drywall piece that's going to go higher on the wall, up to 8 feet, so a little bit more out of our reach. So that will be put in with a couple of deck type screws, Torx drive screws. And then finally, to raise the panel up, we're going to use the lifter. So basically this is the same tool we use for drywall on the ceiling, which is already completed. But this is going to let us get up to, I'm mocking this up with a foam panel, so it's very lightweight here. But we're going to set the sheet on here as we did for mini sheets on the ceiling and wheel it over to the wall. The goal is to get it so that that edge sits right on the drywall plus the 2x4, and then basically just tilt it up into position and drive a couple of the drywall screws, and then everything should be good. So that's it for now. We'll check back for more progress. This wall is reasonably easy. It doesn't have the windows like the other walls or doors, so this one's going to be fairly straightforward. So we will check back in a future episode. Thanks for watching.